All right, good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a great night. This is just a chat about the potential for storms as we go through tonight. And the main news up front, the threat for severe weather is decreasing pretty rapidly out there. It was never big for tonight, but we're finding it hard to even really find the thunderstorms. You can see here, this little pocket here around LaGrange has a strike or two. That's about it. If that continues on its path, that'll float kind of probably, I mean, there's already some rain in northern Monroe County, so probably that bit will go over Monroe, Jasper, and Putnam like this, and that's just a garden variety thunderstorm there. Let's roll on back farther south and west. You can see a couple of thunderstorms down here in the southeastern Alabama, heading south of Columbus in a little bit. If that continues, then that would track maybe into our southern counties in the next couple hours. Again, these are just regular old thunderstorms. We're not seeing anything crazy with any of this. Let's take a look at the big picture, and you can see that the Storm Prediction Center has ratcheted things down a pretty good bit as well. That tornado watch from earlier is gone. That giant yellow blob for a level 2 is gone. And a lot of this level 1 has been trimmed back as well. It's only just our western counties here for this next little bit. So I think over the next couple hours, we'll a few hours, we'll keep an eye on that and see if any of these won't just kind of hold together. But definitely the stuff toward the north has been tearing apart. This little bit down here, again, still kind of holding, but nothing all that crazy. So again, something to watch, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just see some regular old rain out of this. Let's go into our northern counties here and just take a look. Let's take off the satellite there. We know there are clouds. And if you're in Monroe County, some rain going on, light stuff there. Again, no big deal with that. Northern parts of Upson County, the same thing. Again, the only lightning strike that I can find anywhere near us is that one just near the state line north and west of LaGrange. Other than that, a whole lot of nothing going on. So the question is, will everybody even see rain out of this? Very thin line trying to hold together, and again, just these couple little storms down here that are putting some lightning down out there. I mean, but they're on pace to, let's just follow the lightning, something like this. But again, that's a long stretch they've got to hold together, and this up here is showing that they're not doing a very good job of doing that as far as holding together is concerned. So again, with the storm outlook, if you looked earlier, there was a big yellow blob for a level 2 that was over here in Alabama, and then that level 1, originally even yesterday, the level 1 came over into a good chunk of our area like this. Today it was kind of like this, and now they've taken even that part off, so there's only just this little bit for our western counties, which is trying to kind of say, as this line comes across, it's going to continue to weaken down. All right, so the last graph model that came out, there'll be another one coming out in the 10 o'clock hour. This one still tries to show some holding together. We'll see if this is actually the way it plays out. Again, this model is a little bit old now too, so this is 1 to 2 in the morning. It has the same theme we knew was going to be the case anyway, is that this stuff was going to be falling apart. And just bits and pieces, if anything at all, by the time we get into 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for places like Dublin, Eastman, McRae. Again, even if there's anything even still holding together. So again, technically there is a weather impact alert out for tonight, but it's because we haven't seen anything in a long time storm-wise, and we do have the potential for a storm or two tonight. But we knew it was never going to be a huge chance. But it looks like things are going to plan, weakening down like they're supposed to. Let's take a look at the numbers. I want to show you what happens after this front moves through. Notice as we head through the overnight tonight, still warm, possibly low 60s, but we could have some upper 50s the farther north you are in the morning. Tomorrow afternoon, low 70s, so that's a big change from the low 80s today. So the cool air coming in from the northwest, you can see the arrows coming down, just funneling in the cooler and cooler stuff, and you can really see it tomorrow night into Thanksgiving morning when we're going to be looking at somewhere in the mid 30s to upper 30s. I am on Facebook over here as well, and I do see a comment, how's the tornado threat looking? Angel, not looking big at all. Really. I mean, they had a bigger atmosphere for that in Alabama this afternoon, and I didn't see warnings. So this is not looking like that's going to be something that we're going to see. So again, whenever you have a front coming through in the kind of environment that we've had here recently, you can't totally rule things out, but it is very minuscule, the chance of anything like that. I'm not even sure we're going to have thunderstorms. We'll have to wait and see if even the lightning stays in there. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. All right, let's go Thanksgiving Day, looking at 50s. Yeah, 82 today. We shattered another record that was 80 from 1958. So we've been on a string of some either records or close to it for over a week now. So that's Thanksgiving Day. Let's go forward into Friday morning. Yeah, look at this, low 30s. Probably going to have some upper 20s for Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon starting to bring it up, but not much. Wow, look at this one. This is Friday at 1. Shows us at a high of 50. So we'll see where we end up, but this is going to be quite the cold snap that's coming in, especially after we just had all these low 80s. And the humidity has been up, still is up out there right now. You can see that with the light green. Notice the dark green, really muggy stuff. It's hugging the coast down there, panhandle of Florida, Mobile Bay. We don't have that kind of humidity, but you can tell it's not the total fall feel. That comes in starting tomorrow. Here comes the front. Comes down and knocks all that out. So not just going colder, but much drier. How about the wind as this comes through? Right now we're in this southerly flow, which has been just kind of, bringing in the moisture content from the south. So, a little lazy breeze out there off and on now. Watch as the front starts to come in tomorrow. You can see it shifting, coming in from the northwest. So now we're picking up anywhere 20 to 25 miles per hour coming in behind that front. Possibly still a little gusty here even as we get into Thanksgiving Day. So yeah, after all the warm weather, if you're like, hey man, it's going to be like this, we'll just eat outside Thanksgiving Day. Probably, unless you just really like your food cold, keep it inside. Let's see, still a little breeze maybe Friday. How about a wind chill? Is this even worth looking at? Let's see. Not tomorrow. How about tomorrow night into Thursday morning? Could feel like low 30s. If we still have a breeze Thursday night into Friday morning, it could feel like mid-20s, low to mid-20s. So yeah, much colder stuff. Let's take a look at what the numbers are doing right now. 70s on the board, 73. In the Macon area, 74, Warner Robins, some 60s out there. But again, there's in no hurry to cool off, that's for sure. Look how much warmer we are than this time last night. Up 10, 12 degrees from 24 hours ago. And again, with the dew points out there, we still have some low to mid 60s out there. So just into the dew point world, that is not super muggy, but for this time of year, it definitely has more of a late spring feel than late fall. All right, so let's go back to the radar just to show you. Thunderstorms, hard to find. I mean, there are a couple out there. There's one to the north and west of LaGrange was one of the last lightning strikes we saw. And then there's this around Peachtree City crossing 85. Couple of lightning strikes there, just a garden variety thunderstorm, no big deal there. Some light rain going on in Monroe County, northern Upson County, Lake Juliette with maybe a sprinkle or two on the north side. Jasper, Putnam, we'll get some light stuff out of this in a little bit, northern Jones. Most of it for now is staying north of Macon. This batch anyway, let's go on down. This is the stuff in Alabama that we're watching. The two biggest cells I can find are from Troy to Andalusia down here in Alabama. So they're pretty much, it's almost due east. So if you kept on that track, I mean, it almost stays underneath us. Definitely this one. And so you see there's a whole lot in the middle that's just regular rain. So for the core of our area, Macon, Warner Robins, we'd be looking at this part right in here, which is hardly holding together. Let's see, Karen says, praying for Jeffrey Epps to be found safe and home soon. Yeah, Karen, we all are. Hopefully they can find him pretty soon. Immediately would be great. We'll have more information on that coming up at our 10 and 11 o'clock shows. But yeah, prayers for sure on that. So again, thunderstorm potential, not so great. And again, if you're just now joining us, just to show you again that the Storm Prediction Center has trimmed back a good bit on what they had earlier. I mean, they had a level 2 that was like over here, and the level 1 kind of went up like that, if I remember right. So you can see where they trimmed a lot of that stuff back. And really, as we go through, you know, the next few hours, few hours, once these storms kind of get through this area, they may even just drop that too. I think it's just they're anticipating at least getting this far, still with a little bit of a kick to them like these, but they're not really anticipating any sort of severe threat after that. Okay. So again, future view, if you're just joining us, just to show you, I'm going to show you the high-res model after this one, but just to show you can see, again, this is an earlier model run. The next one comes out in about an hour, and it may look similar to this. I mean, obviously it's going to be already moving farther east at this point. But you know, when you see a bowing segment like that, usually that means some gusty winds. So it is trying to pick up on those storms that are in southern Alabama now. Maybe still trying to hold together. But then, like I showed you with that green level 1 right there, notice once you get about this far east, it's just kind of a struggle to hold together. There, as you can see in the morning, the wind already starting to come in out of the northwest behind the front. And then everything clears out. Smooth sailing. Let's see, Jason Joney. One of the two. What does Ben believe will happen? Storms or no storms? I think we're just going to have some rain. There could be a rumble or two in a couple of spots. Mainly the farther south and west you live. Outside of that, I would say the chance of severe weather is very, very low. Again, just looking at the atmosphere over here today, where there was a level 2 and a higher threat than what we ever had, with those low 80s and everything like we had, the kind of conditions for thunderstorms and all that, and I didn't see warnings for a long stretch there. And they still don't have warnings over here. So again, you got to think more stable environment, less stable environment, and still no severe warnings over here. So chances are pretty slim that we're going to see anything. It's not zero, but that's what I'd be leaning towards. Joanna, will Macon get anything? Maybe some rain. Don't know if we're going to get any rumbles with that, but maybe a little pocket of light rain. Mike Birchfield, what's up? Our buddy Mike, worked with us for a long time. That's good people right there, Mike. Good to hear from you, bud. Hope you're doing okay. Will Tuscaloosa get it bad? My family is there. Well, it's already past Tuscaloosa, so it's over there. It's working its way through Alabama, more into our state, so the majority of Alabama is already through with this. Yeah, kind of a hole right in the middle. Not much going on here. And again, that's kind of the main corridor for our area. So we're just kind of looking for a good chunk of our area. There's almost nothing in there. And that's what the models were showing, again, that we were going to see things busting apart. Roberta, maybe some rain. Maybe a rumble. All right, let's see. Let's go forward with the high-res model. Again, it tries to hold together a little bit through the overnight, but really having a hard time. So this is not a strong system. So just to show you, by the way, the 7-day, I wanted you to see how this looks, the change after all this comes through. That red line that you see there, I know a lot of folks are still trying to get used to what all this stuff means on here, but I'm trying to see if it will let me point. There it goes. That means the overnight. So if this is Wednesday as a full day, just the overnight tonight, if we see anything, that's what the weather impact is for. The reason why it's red. So basically you look at it and say, if I see a red line somewhere on there, then that's kind of the part of the day that we're talking about. After that, we go into the blue, and then it's just a regular day. You notice you don't see any more of that. So I know it's probably a little confusing trying to figure out, is that just kind of a look on the day with a logo, or does that mean something? It does mean something. It's supposed to be put there with the idea of that's kind of when we would expect to see severe weather, if we even see it, and it's doubtful that we will. Lightning in Byron, it was going to be Telfair County. Again, just probably going to be just regular old rain, but there could be a rumble in a couple of spots. There's just no way of knowing for sure if we're going to have thunder or not. If we did, I think it would be only in one or two spots, mainly south, like mainly southwest Georgia, more toward Albany. But we could hear a rumble or two with some of this rain as it moves through, if it, again, holds together. We'll have to see if it even holds together. So this is going to be something that's weakening as it comes across. So much colder for starting Thanksgiving morning. And then you can see even as we get into Friday here, 50s, the graph model we looked at a minute ago had us set around 50 as a high on Friday. Look at 20s for lows. Saturday, still cold, 50s during the day, 20s to start the day. Another front starts to come in Sunday, and that's going to be possibly a rainmaker Sunday into the start of the week. I have us on here with these other little chances. It doesn't mean that it's going to be raining Monday and Tuesday. We'll just have to wait and see how quickly this moves through. But one thing to note is that it does warm up a little bit, and then it starts to just reinforce the cooler stuff as we get on into next week. So definitely no 80s on the board. That's gone. Let's just do a recap. What's going on with the radar at the current moment. Oh, Jennifer, that was you too, by the way. How are you? Hope everything's going well. I didn't even notice your name. That's right. You do have horses, yes. So yeah, I'm not looking for a big deal out of this tonight. But again, it's one of these where we can't rule it out. So we just, as we say, we babysit the radar. We sit and watch it just in case one or two wants to get a little rambunctious. But they're not showing any signs that they're doing it now or that they will. If we were going to watch any of them, it would be these down here, if they even made it into our southern counties. But again, if you go look where they are and where that green is, this is where the lowest level 1 threat is. Again, very small chance of severe weather. It's just mainly in this green area. Okay, guys, we'll continue to watch it. Our 10 o'clock show is coming up on the CW channel. Of course, you can watch them all here on 13 WMAZ Plus. And then there'll be new model data at 10, and then at 11, we'll have a better look at the overnight, because we'll really get an idea if these storms are weakening down by then. And again, I anticipate that we're going to see more and more weakening with that. So, anywho, hope you have a great night, and we'll talk later.